Hello again, and welcome back to Procrastinators Pit Stop. We do have another amazing guest here for you today, Mai-Liis Kivistik, a naturopath, health promoter, and entrepreneur specializing in face yoga and herbal medicine. With a background in IT and event management, she turned her passion for holistic healing into a thriving skincare brand, Maiwistic, after overcoming burnout and hyperthyroidism. May, welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
It's no trouble at all. Now, before we dig deeper into this, we do have an icebreaker on the show. And your question, May, is which cartoon character do you most resonate with and why?
Oh, that's a good one. Since if you can see me, you can see that I have flowers in the head. I do this all the time. I like this fairy kind of style. And in general, it would be forest fairy. But since you asked like cartoon character, I think it's Tinkerbell.
Because she's a fairy?
Yeah, because she's a fairy, and also because I'm a naturopath, I would spend my days in the forest or in the prairie to pick herbs and see the animals, enjoy that part. So I think this resonates that part.
Okay, excellent. So, May, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to be where you are today?
Happy to. I try to make it short, but it all started actually when I was 6 years old, because then I entered competitive ballroom dancing field, and I did it 10 years. And in my head, I was like, I'm gonna go study choreography in Denmark, and this will be my life. And I had big plans, but if you do any kind of competitive sports, you will get injured sooner or later. This is typical, and this happened to me, so my dancing career stopped. But it actually stopped at that point when I had to finish high school and go to university. And I didn't know anything else but dancing. So it was like really confusing to pick any kind of field to study because I didn't like anything. So I went to study IT. I actually finished it. I'm happy that I did it, but I hated it. It wasn't for me at all. But the idea why I went to study it was money. I was thinking, okay, at least I can earn some money. That was it. Nothing else. No passion there. And soon after I started working, I realized, okay, it's useful, but not for me. So I actually turned to event field. I worked, for example, in Mind Valley for 3 years, created different events with the team around the world. Super fun, super exciting, but crazy hard as well. So it actually led to burnout and my diagnosis. But on the side, I also started to be a yoga teacher because I understood I need to balance it out. Work hard, okay, but something has to be done for your mind and body as well. So first, of course, I practiced myself. Then I decided I will become a teacher. And whoever has tried yoga repeatedly knows that things change. Your body starts to communicate. Like my body said, we don't drink coffee anymore. We don't like sugar that much anymore. No alcohol, and then no meat. But when it came to the point that said no meat, it was confusing for me because I live in Estonia. We have 4 seasons. We don't have good fruits during the winter or vegetables even. So this is not possible in my mind to be fully vegan or vegetarian here because you will lack nutrients or you have to be super smart about it. So I decided to go study herbs because herbs have different vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that I didn't know about. And it was a bit too late for me to ask my grandparents, or I didn't want to read that many books. I wanted fast results. So I started to study, and it was like all coming together because at the first course, they teach you the herb you see the most has a message for you. And when I got my diagnosis, it meant that my body was lacking iodine. Of course, the doctors wanted to put medicine on me, but I completely said no because I was not used with that. I was healthy, I trained good, I ate good. It wasn't logical. So the herb that I saw first was celandine, which is typical weed, at least in Europe. And it has this kind of orange. And when I dig deeper, I realized this is the natural iodine. So I still get goosebumps. It was a match. And at the same time, one of my friends asked me to do an ointment for her because she had psoriasis and she had tried different things, nothing worked. She was ready to try nature. And for me, it was super good to test my skills because I hadn't done anything like that before. And this was actually my first ointment under Maiwistic because after 1.5 weeks, she saw results. And then it got interesting. I wanted to test some other people, how this works, and the ball got rolling there. So actually, you can already see that one step leads to another, and everything actually is combined. It's not like I'm sad that I had this hyperthyroidism diagnosis. Of course, this was a shock to me, but it led to so many other things. And now I have been doing Maiwistic brand almost 5 years, and I would never change anything or swap it.
Well, that's quite a journey, and thank you for sharing with us. So, what do you think was the turning point for you, the definitive moment when you knew you were on the right?
I think it was from the beginning because it felt good. Like I understood when I quit my job, I actually started doing my business. I wouldn't recommend everybody else to like quit cold turkey. You should have a bit like do things at the same time, at least the first year. But I did it like, nope, I'm quitting because I was super tired and I had the diagnosis. I wanted to do something else. And I also realized doing these things alone that I might not know all that I need is hard. So there was an opening in one incubator here, which was focusing on creative fields. So in the evening, I was like, okay, it was almost 12 a.m. I was tired. I was just applying and I was like, okay, let's do it. Although my first jar was totally stupid. It had like handwritten sign on a white paper saying like skincare or skin cure, nothing fancy, but the emotion was there. So I applied. And of course, in the morning, I woke up, I was in shock. Like, what did I do? This is stupid. This is not like even like MVP, like that you can really be proud of. It's just even something a step before, but they accepted me. Then I got to another round and I had to make a business plan. And from that point on, I got the feeling like if something is right, things just happen. No matter how they look or how it smells or whatever, you can figure it out. But if it's meant to be, it starts going. And of course, during these years, there has been difficulties as well, because like we spoke before, you read my brand name, it was difficult. And I totally agree. But before, about 1.5 years, my brand was called Herbal. Really good, international, perfect. But when I wanted to launch in Amazon, I got a trademark issue, which I didn't know about beforehand. And then there was a big German company, natural one, by the way, which was surprising. Why do you want to battle if you are in the same field? But in the end, everything is business. And in total, this period cost me about 10,000 euros because I had to change everything. Brand name, domain, everything, swag, texts, like they went word by word, even to my website and say like, okay, you can't use this. It was, shocking, difficult. But after I came out of that, then I decided I will put the name that actually nobody can use. It's a bit difficult to pronounce, but it still works.
Okay, well, I mean that's actually a very inspiring story. I mean, even though you're going up against these big companies that said you couldn't operate, it's rather than sort of back down from it. You went ahead and you changed everything at a great expense. Did you ever consider just walking away from it at that point, or no, it was never an option?
Yeah, I had a breakdown when I was thinking like this is too much, like because when you are starting, it takes time to build your brand. And I already had some good customers. They were loyal. They knew what is Herbal, and now just do everything from scratch. But I was still thinking, okay, I'm good at this. I love that. So I can just change the name. I can do it in another form, whatever. I will still do the same thing. So why not just to try one more time? And if it's not meant to be, then okay. But now looking back, it's so funny how things from further distance look so small. But when you're in the middle of it, it feels like the whole world is going crazy and like everybody is trying to like do something to you. And I still think that the best lesson I got from there is that business is business and I am myself. But up to that point, this was my baby. Like if you say something about my products, I take it personally, like you say it to me. But this taught me really expensive ways, but still taught me that no, this is business. You can do your best, but still people have different opinions. They can say whatever, but this is not about you. So it made actually business life a bit easier.
Yeah, it is sometimes hard to separate ourselves from our babies because we created them. So I mean, it's okay, yeah, and probably going to get some flag for this, but I mean, it is a lot like creating a baby. I mean, you're putting your energy and your love and great planning and care into it. And so, yes, it does become ingrained into your identity, and it can be a little bit hurtful sometimes when that isn't received well. But it seems like that you got some very good lessons out of it, and you've got your brand now, Maiwistic. What are you guys focused on right now? Is it mainly just the skin rejuvenation then, or are you also focused on other areas as well?
Well, it is about skin mostly, skin food, like I like to call it. But also, I'm always in that way that you can't only put oils on your skin or creams to make you look good. You always need to train as well. So it's actually a combination with face training, face yoga to build the muscles, and also how to release overworking muscles. Like I know a lot of public speakers, for example, when they speak, they use the forehead a lot to make the point or give the passion because they're so passionate. But if you overwork all the time your front muscle, it's connected with your eye muscle, which means it always stretches the upper lid. And when it's overstretched, you get hooded eyes. And we don't want it. Of course, we can cut the skin away and make it look better, but there is natural ways how you can do it. So this is like a combination. And also the third part is training, like posture part through yoga or also eating habits. I work together with different therapists who can speak about food, nutrition, movement. So person who actually follows or joins Maiwistic movement, then they get the whole package. They can buy the products, they can use the face yoga trainings, or they can combine.
Yes, it's good that you mentioned nutrition as well as that. I know, and you mentioned about being vegan. So you yourself are still vegan, even though it's difficult, or you also?
No, I'm not a vegan. That's why I went to study herbs. I was hoping that I can get the answer there, but at least in Nordic countries, it's not possible. We don't have these good fruits or vegetables throughout the year that can make the vitamins and minerals in our cells as much as we need.
Because one of the things, and I'm not the expert here, but one of the things that I've been told about skincare, if you want to clear up your skin from things like acne, you stay away from things like lots of fat or dairy or cheeses. But I mean that's also a staple in the European diet, right? So do you combat that only with the creams or with the exercises too, or is there a natural sort of remedy to that you take for that?
Actually, there are a lot of natural remedies. Even like in Maiwistic's line, there is one specific SOS oil that if you put in the inflammation on acne or something, it reduces it fast. And the funny thing is that it was designed at first to be a bug bite oil. So when you have grilling season, you can just get rid of the bug bites fast. But when the users started to using it, it turned out there's so many other ways you can use it. So now it's just like SOS oil. Whatever needs to be healed, put it on, it works. But these dietary restrictions actually are relating through your gut. They are personal. We can't say that lactose or milk makes something for your skin and my skin. We can say maybe only for your skin if you have tested it and you know it. But one thing for sure that everybody has is salt and sugar. And sugar can create acne really fast, and salt as well if it's too much. And also wrinkles. If you know some older people, you can look around the mouth. The more lines you can see here, it means that they are a bit of a sweet tooth because these come from sugar. So it's connected. Don't overuse sugar, don't overuse salt. Balance it out always. And body cleansing. I don't say that everybody has to do like this fasting, although this 8-16 hour, I don't know if everybody knows what is intermittent fasting, but if you fast 16 hours and eat 8 hours, periods of these things can help you to cleanse your body. But also if you drink like vegetable juices in the morning on an empty stomach, this can also cleanse you. You don't have to think that, oh, I now need to fast 3 days in a row and only drink water because somebody said it helped me. It can help somebody, but try with easier things. For example, celery juice or cabbage juice or cucumber juice. You can see that it also can heal and help you to cleanse your body. And that is already enough. And you can see skin clearing as well after you have been, for example, doing 1 week of juicing only in the morning. Then you don't have to drink juices throughout the day, but just swap breakfast with the fresh juice, which is not fruit juice, and you're good.
It's interesting that you mentioned the vegetable juices and the fruit juices there, because I know that a lot of people, especially in developed countries, whether it be North America, I fell into this trap too. I'm healthy because I'm drinking orange juice every morning, but that orange juice had the same amount of sugar as like a Coca-Cola. It was insane. Do you recommend? I mean, obviously natural is the best. What do you recommend for people trying to just start? Do they get a machine, like a juicer, to do it? Do they do it by hand? What do you tell them to do?
Yeah, juicer is good, and slow juicer, because then you get more out of the product that you put in. But also going back to these fruit juices, you can drink them if you really want to, because it is really good when it's sunny day to have this fresh orange juice. But then try to put cinnamon on it or eat it before, because cinnamon helps to keep the glucose levels steady. Otherwise, what also happens is that your glucose goes high, and let's say like 20 minutes later, it drops, and then you feel sleepy, right? So don't play with your body, because the more our glucose levels are down and up, the more you have this problem that at one point you can get diabetes. Yeah, but juicing part, yes, get the juicer, because if you use blender, it's a lot of work. You need to like get this paste out, use different items to get it out. You have a full mess in your kitchen. So good quality juicer, but it doesn't have to be the most expensive one. I know everybody wants to sell you different things, but just check if it's low. It's good already. You can get it, I think, with 150 euros or dollars already, depending on where you look. But then start to use it, and use it daily, because it takes about 20 days to actually get the habit. Beginning is hard, I know, because you need to clean the machine after every time you use it, but it gets easier.
No, that makes a lot of sense. You mentioned the lines around the mouth. I want to go back to that for a moment. I never really had attributed that the lines around the mouth specifically to being about sugar. I always thought, it just meant they laughed a lot. I mean, that obviously causes lines as well too, right? But can you avoid those with the face trainings that you were talking about, or the face yoga, I guess, is it?
Yeah, face yoga, face fitness, there's so many different names. But the sad news is that we all age, and we can't really avoid wrinkles, no matter if they are laugh lines or they are some other habit produced lines. But we can always lift the pace of this wrinkle. So I was thinking about these small lines that come here. Some people call them smoker lines. But these deeper ones, nasolabial lines, as they call it. These are, of course, smile lines. And the older we get, the longer they can actually be. And this now also can be the reason how you sleep, how long they are. For example, if you sleep only on one side can be way longer because you always press here, right? So this is the place where actually the exercises can help you because when we lift the base of this wrinkle or this line, it gets less noticeable. And this is actually super easy to do, but the thing is that this takes time. The same as you go to the gym, you train your body, and you do it forever. When you start, there's no ending line. It's not like when you get 70, you have to quit. No, you will do it until you die. And the same goes with the face. If you start doing it to keep the results, you need to keep doing it. It's not like I do it 3 months, let's say, and then the next 3, I don't do anything. Then you lose the result. So you always need to do it.
That brings up another question I'm sure that many of our listeners are going to have. That they're probably freaking out a little bit saying, how long do you have to do these face exercises every day? I mean, some people are probably thinking, oh no, I can't go to the gym for 30 minutes and then do 30 minutes of face exercises.
That is actually the fun part because I would say 5 to 10 minutes a day, but it now again depends what are your other habits. Because posture, for example, is number one killing point for you. Yeah, everybody is always going like, oh, my posture. Because if your shoulders are up front, your chest is pulled together, this means that all the muscles have to work so much harder to be stretched. Sometimes it's too much. So like double chin, for example, if some people have small double chin, it doesn't mean that you are overweight or some liquid is here. Sometimes it only means that because everything is stretched together or pushed together, it's here as well. So the muscles are smaller than they should be. So you should stretch the ending points here. So small muscles here can stretch out and the double chin goes away. So it can be that easy. But again, it's a posture thing. If your spine is straight, your shoulders are a bit back, your tongue needs to be always up. If you are not speaking, it has to be behind your teeth, pushing up, because then you lift the full face up as well. And I'm sure that people who have been photo studios, photographers have told it as well. And everybody gets a nice photos then. But the moment we stepped out of the photo studio, we forget it. But why should we? We should always look good. It's not like people would point on us like, why do you have so straight spine? No, you feel good if you have straight spine, shoulders a bit back. You feel better, you feel confident, and you look better as well. And there's less tension in your face already with that. And if this is good, then you can go with this 10 minutes face exercises. And what's even better is that after, let's say, 1 week, when you have been practicing in front of the mirror, you can already lose the mirror and you can do these exercises whenever. Like when you're driving with your car to work or school or whenever, you can do these exercises. For example, for eye area, for cheek area. These are funny faces, I know, but if you are standing behind the red light, for example, and look to the side with your fish face on, for example, I'm sure that somebody from the other car starts laughing and you brighten their day as well.
And so we discussed some of the, you said the fish look. Could you show us what that looks like, or give us an example of what these exercises might look like?
Sure, you can do it as well. It's super easy. You pull your cheeks in, and now you try to smile with this part, like up. But the key is to keep front head still. Nothing moves here, only cheek.
Difficult.
It is difficult. But once you get to handle that exercise, this is one of the best exercises for all these upper cheek muscles, because we have a lot of muscles here. And when the gravitation pulls it down and we haven't trained our cheeks, everything comes down, right? Until the point where the corners of the mouth are here. And then we don't like what we see from the mirror. So the more you exercise your cheek area, the less you can see this part afterwards. So you should start already today. Doesn't mean if you are 20 or 30 or 50 or 60, start today, then you will get the result. Otherwise, if you wait, the harder it gets.
Well, yeah, much like anything, because the muscles, they will it's almost like a type of atrophy, right? They get weak and then they can't be worked. Um, but let's say that for whatever reason, like when I tried to do it, I don't know, it's like having to change the focus of your muscle groups, which we're not really used to doing up in here, right? So I'm sure there's a question too. Have you ever seen those electrical stimulators? I mean, do they have those for the face too? And if they do, would you recommend them?
They do have. It's super interesting. I have had similar questions 3 days in a row, and now I'm already thinking, is this a sign? But yeah, this is this EMS machines, I think that you mean. And I know they use it for the face as well. But since I haven't looked into any like scientific documentation, how it actually works or what are the results, I can't say if it's good or bad. I think it's better good because whatever you do with your muscles, it's usually good because the blood flow, for one, moves better, and also lymphatic system, all the lymph fluids move. And the reason why it's super good for lymph is that if you look at the blood system, we always have our heart that works day or night. Whatever you do, it still works. So the blood flows. But with our lymphatic system, the problem is that there is no pump, which means if you move, it moves. If you don't move, it stays still. That is also the reason why sometimes we know that some people have swollen legs or swollen face when they have been sleeping bad. But if you use this EMS system, it gives these stimulations and it moves the lymphatic system as well. So I think it's better good, like all the face massages, face rollers, gua sha stones. The more you can work with your face, the better it is. Like also when you go to the massage with your body, it's still super good for you.
And actually, that segues into something else too, and something that I know that a lot of our users, a lot of our listeners will be asking. There's a conspiracy theory going around right now. Well, I guess it's not really a theory so much an idea, and that is that a lot of these makeups that they're selling today are actually designed to dry out your skin and make your skin actually worse, so that you have to buy the makeup to cover it up. Do you think there's any truth to that?
Well, I don't want to believe that the companies really make it so, because that would mean that we live in a horrible world. But it can be because they know all the ingredients that they put in what they do. So if you willingly mix them together, this is already on that person who sells it, because you can't sell a quality product with like €2. So that's why I always say choose natural, better less than more. You can, if you use face oil, for example, scrub your face once a month or even like, yes, once a month. I would suggest once a week, but even if you do it once a month, it's already good. You don't have to use that much powder or like highlighters. And sometimes if I look at the social media videos, I'm just surprised how many products can one lady put in the face and how they look before and after. They're totally different people. Why to do these things if you can actually just enhance your own natural look? Of course, some people like to color their hair or fingernails, that's fine. But with the face, less toxic things are better because in the face, the skin is already 10 times thinner than all over the rest of the body. And if we now put chemicals on the face, it goes directly to our bloodstream, which means it doesn't stay only on the face. Our kidneys and our liver has to deal with the things now to remove them from the body. And we get toxins from the makeup, from the food, from the air, from the water. It's so many toxins that our bodies can't actually get rid of them all. So then again, we get some health issues. So yes, the more natural choices people can do, the better it is for them.
You mentioned something interesting there. the skin on the face being 10 times less than the rest of the body. So whatever we're putting there goes directly into the bloodstream. I guess that makes sense. I saw something a while ago and I didn't know exactly how it was going to work. It's an annoying ad I saw on YouTube for like a pain relief for headaches called Head On, and you apply it directly to the forehead. You put this cream on your forehead or something, and then it so you're saying that something like that could actually work?
It could, yeah. It's actually surprising that a lot of people don't think that everything you put on your skin absorbs. Like, let's take deodorants, for example. If you look at the ingredients list, horrible things are inside. Aluminium, different metals, different toxins, just to remove the smell, keep you less sweating. It's even reached to the point where beauticians suggest you to inject Botox under your armpits to prevent sweating. But this is crazy because your armpits are the place where the toxins should go out. But if you block it, where do they go? They go to your breast area or somewhere else. And of course, different cancer institutions don't agree that why we have so many breast cancer issues at this point can be related. They don't want to say it's that. But if we think logically, there is a connection because there's so many toxins inside. If you block your armpits where the lymphatic system needs to drain out all the toxins, they're stuck.
Well, that actually raises an interesting thing because I know that in terms of actual like breast cancer too, I wonder if there's any correlation between incidence of breast cancer in men as well. Because I mean the tissues are relatively close, but I know for women there's a little bit more of a duct there because if I'm not mistaken, some of the milk producing stuff like ducts goes through the well not the armpit but through the arm, that area, and into the breast. I hadn't actually considered that, but yeah, just looking at all the deodorant stains on clothes, which it's a little bit off topic, but it relates. The deodorant stains on clothes that you can see when you go to when someone goes to buy clothes in a store and you see the deodorant stains, people have tried it on. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that there's a lot of time that those chemicals spend there and that they do have a chance to get absorbed for sure. Yeah, I never really thought about that before.
Yeah, and the thing to remember here, if somebody now decides, oh, I'm gonna go try natural deodorant, try to also remember that there is overlapping periods. If you have been using commercial deodorant all your life, this means the toxins are in your body. And now if you take the natural one, it can take time. You can't get the results with one day. So the time can be 2 weeks up to 4 weeks. So you just have to survive this period. You might stink a lot, but after that period, you see that it works and you don't need to put that many different ingredients in your body anymore.
So hold on a second. So you're saying that if we want to go natural, we're gonna stink. That's what I got out of that.
Few days up to few weeks, yes, because this is all again combined depending on how you eat. The cleaner you eat, the faster the process goes, because some people swap it, nothing happens. Works perfect. But other people can take 2 to 4 weeks depending on how they eat, how they train, how much water they drink, because all this comes out under your armpits.
Definitely makes sense. Well, we are actually, this is very interesting in the conversation. We are coming up towards the end of the time here. Do you think there was anything that we didn't cover today, or anything I didn't ask that maybe I should have asked?
You asked really good questions, but I want to put something on the heart of everybody who listens. Take time for yourself, because I see it every day. When I say, okay, 5 to 10 minutes face yoga, scrub your face or cream your face or body even, people always say, yeah, but this is not important. I have kids, I have work, I have to do this and this and this. And then they promise they start. And let's say I meet them after 6 months and ask about it. Then they're like, maybe next month. But the more you put it off, the less you fill your own cup. Because even this 15 minutes or 10 minutes a day You lock the bathroom door. This is your time. Put on some meditative music, light a candle even if you want, whatever works for you. Do these exercises or scrub your skin. And when you step out of that bathroom, your cup is filled. You can give so much more. So let's not forget that we ourselves are the most important people we have to live with forever. So let's take care of ourselves.
That's a very good point, and we do need to be reminded of that a lot. And being a procrastination coach myself, I know that when people say, "Oh, there's no time," well, how long do you spend with your cup of coffee in the morning? I mean, there's no reason you couldn't take a sip of coffee and then enjoy your coffee more, right? You might even enjoy your coffee more because you're taking a little longer to drink it. So there's always ways to go ahead and make time for things like. So just before we go here, May, what is the best way for our listeners to reach out and contact you?
Best way is either LinkedIn or Instagram. Instagram is under Maiwistic, and this is with double V basically, or website. But I think because they are seeing my name, it's easier to just reach out in LinkedIn.
Okay. And not to worry, we will put that link in the description in the show so that you'll be able to now you should be able to just click on it and go and contact May if you need to. And thank you so much for joining us on the show today, May. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in again for your dose of inspiration and motivation. And, if you can't find that inspiration or motivation in yourself today, try and be that inspiration and motivation for someone else. And we'll see you again next time.
Thank you.